you.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi,
The,
everyone. Good to
the,
see you. You
good to
got
see you.
Limber and Ander.
Linder.
Linda and Amber here.
I almost thought you said Lindor and you're thinking of chocolate.
Oh, well, there you go. That's a combination of our name.
Well, welcome everyone to Leading Hearts Live. It's so exciting to be here and with you. And Linda, you just got off a big writing conference.
Yes.
So, how you tell us a little bit about where you were traveling and that conference.
Well, I was at the Colorado Christian University, my first
Ooh,
time on that campus. Speaking of colleges, which we will be speaking about more in just a moment.
yes.
And it was they hadn't done an event. They'd only done one before, and that was 2020, February of 2020. And then this was their first time to try it again. And they
Oh my
landed
goodness.
at CCU, and it was just a lovely event. They did a
Oh
lovely
wow.
job, and I got to be a keynote. I got to teach about what's new with women and how to reach them, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds like it's awesome. I love any opportunity to go to writing conferences and learn. And we actually have a conference every year that we have, Linda, that we invite our Advanced Writers and Speakers Association to, and I love it. And that's coming up. But you have to be a member of Advanced Writers and
Yeah,
Speakers.
well, awsa.com if you want to look at what it would take to be a member of the Advanced Writers and Speakers Association. And yes, that event is tremendous. And
Yeah,
people are coming and registering like crazy right now. And we do have a limit. So
yeah.
if you're listening and you haven't registered yet, you better get in because we can't wait to see you.
Yeah. And I tell you what, if you're looking or you think possibly God's put a book on your heart to write,
Mhm.
I never thought I'd write a book. And now I've finished, I think I finished, this is number four,
Oh,
Linda, number
so
four,
show this book very carefully.
this book.
Tell us what you have here. This is beautiful.
This is called Flowers Find a Way. It's a 30-day devotional. It's about faith built on resilience. God building his strength in you through the struggle and the hard times of life. And I've just had fun. This is just I'm not trying to
Beautiful.
brag.
Well, I've
I'm
peeked
not trying to
inside.
brag.
It's beautiful,
But
and so
I
is the
have
writing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have verse, little journal entries,
Mhm.
poetic journal entries, and little reflections. And it all is inspired by flowers. And a lot of this I started putting together when I started writing for Arise Daily, which is another ministry, which recently got an award of excellence from the Evangelical Press Association.
Number
I love
one.
that we do all these ministries besides Leading Hearts. We have a lot that we do, but look, I mean, for goodness sake, I never thought I'd write that many devotionals.
You know what, everybody? She is giving this away
I am.
today, but you have
I,
to say hi to us so we can put you in the drawing.
I might even give away two if we get enough people say hi.
Ooh.
Ooh, so I'd love for you guys to have this book. It's so awesome.
It is. I have to agree. I have seen it. It is a wonderful book. So inspiring and encouraging. A
Yeah,
great way to start your day and to get in the running to win it.
yeah,
Just say hi. And let's just shift a little bit because
yeah.
isn't it true you've got some kids graduating from high school right now?
Well, actually, I have a kid going into her senior year. And it's all of a sudden, it's dawned on me that this kid is graduating, and I'm like, this is my baby. This is my baby. This is the last one in the brood. And all of a sudden it kind of scares you, right? That last year of high school before you have to release those children. I say release them to God.
Release them into the wild under the watchful eye of the Lord and care and care.
Yeah. But, being that this is the 3rd time, it's like in the last one, you're like, "Oh, good night." I
Wow.
Is she really ready? That's another question I always have. Is she really ready to go out in the world, to get a job, and also keep the faith intact that, her father and I have worked to, encourage and nurture in her, because that's a hard thing. And I used to work in youth ministry, and we used to talk about all the time, how can we keep our kids plugged in with their faith when they leave the nest?
Mhm.
And unfortunately, that's not a great successful statistic that we often fall on. When you look at the Barna stats and everything of kids who fall away from faith after they leave high school. And so that's kind of scary, because you're looking at people who are influencing your kids. Not everyone goes to a Christian college. Not that I'm saying I went to a Christian college and there wasn't all that positive. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything. There wasn't all positive stuff going on.
Well, it's the time when kids say, "Hey, I'm not under mom and dad's thumb anymore. I can try
Right?
some things I wouldn't have tried at home." And those things can lead them on a scary path. I know for my kid,
Mhm.
he went some scary steps down the wrong path, and the way we got him to come back was just doing a lot of time on our knees.
Right.
And
And
boy,
it's,
that was necessary.
because they don't have to check in. Honestly, you'd like them to, but they don't have to check in, and you don't have a GPS on them.
I
And
wanted to. I tried to talk him into it, and we can
yeah.
like be phone buddies, and he was like, "No, mom."
I can see you going here. That's what I love about, I mean, some technology, unless your kid leaves their phone behind, because now we have all this technology, can actually watch them going everywhere they are. But sometimes they cut you off from that.
Right?
But I'm excited about our guest today,
Yes.
Katherine Pasour. I see. I'm trying to go
Has
into like a
power.
Passauer.
Mhm.
I want to go into a type of a French type pronunciation. And I know better than that, because I asked her how to pronounce her name right before this. But yeah, I'm excited to talk to her, and how she came to write this book, which, we all know that that's an important thing, and how she came to see that. And I also know that when my oldest went away to college, having those people around her, having those adults, having those people from the church coming over to her college, and even encouraging them and inviting them to come to church, that was really important. And that was, important for those, honorary parents, I'd call them, to kind of put their arms around them, and
Yeah.
encourage them, not only when they're not a Sunday service, but they're really struggling with some hard stuff.
Yeah. Well,
So
let's bring Catherine up, and she can tell us about how she became an expert on
yes,
helping our kids who are struggling in college. Hello,
yes.
Catherine. It's so good to see
Hello,
you.
Linda and Amber. It's great
Uh-huh.
to be here. Thank you. Expert might be a little beyond, but I have had a lot of experience working with college students, and particularly the first year college students, because that first year is the hardest part,
Yeah.
hardest transition period for them. But Amber, you mentioned something about helping them keep their faith. And if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about that
Yeah,
first. Is that okay?
exactly. Yes.
Really.
Excuse me. And we can start working on that even before that they go off to school, because I always encourage students to visit the campus in advance, get a feel for it. All of the ones that they're interested in attending, get a feel for that campus. And while they're there, they can check out the community too. What kind of support groups? I'm sorry, I haven't
Yeah.
talked much today, and you can tell. What kind of support groups are there for the colleges. And most university or college towns will have support groups within their church communities, classes for them, Sunday school classes or evening get-togethers where they know what the students are going through, because if you're in a college town, you've experienced college students before, so you know some of the trials that they go through, and they want to help the students as much as possible. And then there are groups on campus too, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Crew, all kinds of support groups too. And it was interesting that you said that about the Christian college. I worked at a Christian college for more than 25 years. And although the atmosphere is more loving and compassionate than probably secular universities, there's still a lot goes on that our students don't want their parents to know about. So, but that's part of the growing process, being independent and learning to make the decisions that you have to make to be the best choices for whatever your goals are. And that's why I wanted to start with that first. But as you said, as I said, I'm not an expert, but I've had lots of experience. And some of the things that are really difficult for first-year students are dealing with the independence, because they've always had somebody to help them get up in the morning, somebody to remind them, oh, it's a school day, you've got class. You need to study for that test that you've got tomorrow. And when they get at the university or college, they're on their own. Mom and dad might call every morning to wake them up, but that's not really going to be a lasting. That's not going to be something that will work forever. And then they have to make decisions about, do I go out with my friends this evening, or do I stay in my room or go to the library and study for that big test that I've got?
Yeah, I know when my oldest was away in Chicago area for college, and she moved back after COVID to our university here, which is Missouri State. But she had a hard time because she all of a sudden was stuck with a roommate, and she could not handle it.
Big thing.
It was like, here, this person, my daughter was an introvert and liked to wind down, and her roommate was the one who wanted to bring everyone back to the room at goodness knows midnight. And it was such a hard thing. And she would call and she's like, I am just tired. I can't do my work. I can't focus. I can't wind down. And we realized that she was not cut out for dorm life. So that was exhausting for her.
Yes.
So, Katherine, can you tell me a little bit about some of the things that somebody might find in your book that would help them kind of navigate this period of their life while they're as parents?
Sure. And the first part of the book is a focus on things that they can do in the summer to begin to get ready, even before the fall semester starts. And that entails, visiting the campus, and then even taking a class. If there's a community college there, they could take a class, and that would help them have a little bit of a break in the first semester, perhaps, if they didn't take quite such a full load. Because academics, it's a different thing. Even if they're well prepared, it's still going to be something along the way that will challenge them. And I encourage students to spend time with their families. Your family is always your family. You're going to love them forever, and they love you forever. But once you go away to school or get out and get a job, there's this change. And your child is growing up and beginning to prepare to flee the nest, and you've been through it. If you've already had two to go off, you've been through that, and your relationship changes just slightly different, but it changes. And so I really encourage them to spend as much time together as they can. And then the students really try their very best to get off to a good start. That first week is so important to begin to establish routines, go to class every day, and keep up with the work. That syllabus is so very important. I spend the whole chapter. Well, the devotions are very short because I know college students are very busy, but I spend several devotions just talking about the importance of the syllabus, because that's a contract between the student and the instructor, and it's set out in writing very clear what student's supposed to do and what the faculty member is supposed to do. So
You're supposed to read that?
I know. Just because we didn't always.
I remember skimming the words.
Uh-huh. But
I
really,
don't remember seeing one.
well, we always used to print them out, but now they're online. You can look at them every day.
Well, it's crazy because I know my junior in high school, soon to be senior. I looked at now I have home access. They let you look at the grades, and I see syllabus 0 because she's supposed to sign it, and so it's at the end of the school year, and I'm like, do you still have that syllabus? You're missing 15 points here.
Ooh. Yeah, they're supposed to sign that they read it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a challenge. It's a challenge to keep them on track. And even when you know what they're supposed to be doing. And a lot of times you don't know where they're getting their support from. And you don't know where they're going to church. They're trying out different churches with different people, or sleeping in for Sunday, and maybe going to online church or whatever. How do you instill that routine of going to church, or do you just kind of have to loosen your hands a bit from the grip of that? I don't know. I'd kind of be a hover parent a bit with that, but you kind of run the line of, is this going to really happen? And how do you, I guess, I don't know, how do you deal with that as a parent, finding out, well, maybe my kid's just sleeping in every Sunday morning?
Well, it is frightening for us to think that we've worked so hard to get them really engaged and involved in church and with their youth group and Bible study. And so we are naturally concerned, but ultimately it's going to be our child's choice, whether they get up and go or not. But it will be helpful if, as I mentioned earlier, if they go ahead early on and try to set that habit and find some friends. That's another challenge for them, finding friends that have the same values as they do. Doesn't mean that they shouldn't learn about other cultures and other religions, because the more they know, the more they can be confident of their own faith, because they're the only ones that can give up their faith. And they're going to come face to face with other students and even faculty and teachers that may make fun of their faith. And so it's important that they feel hopeful and confident. And you mentioned that I'm not sure it was a daughter or it was a daughter that called home because her roommate evidently had a different set of values than she did, but you did just the right thing. You listened, you let her pour all that out, and you let her know that you cared. And I don't know whether she got a different roommate or you moved off campus.
She moved off campus. That was pre-COVID. And then she started, but it was a challenge. It was a challenge to keep on track. It was a challenge because I know, as the mom, you want to intervene in situations. You want to call up the RD or, the residence director and say, hey, this isn't working for my child, which is not a child. You kind of, they're always your children, right?
They
you always want to advocate for them. You always want to kind of mama bear it for them. And when they have problems, and sometimes it's hard not to step in and go to the position that's higher than them when they tell you no, because it's and you don't want to micromanage their life, but you also want to make them be stronger advocates for their needs. How do you prepare them for that?
Well, as you mentioned, it's different. It's really difficult not to hover, but you've got to keep that balance. They are a young adult now. And so if it was a matter of say they get seriously ill, then of course you need to go there and do whatever you need to do to take care. And if you recognize that emotionally and mentally they're getting depressed or withdrawn and you suddenly don't hear from them anymore, then yes, you need to go check on them. But the other issues, when they fail a test or they're failing a class, ultimately they're going to have to work that out with their
Right.
instructor, and they're going to have to accept the consequences of whatever the reason was that they didn't pass. But yes, their health and their mental, emotional well-being
Yeah.
is of utmost importance, and you should get involved then. But
Yeah.
in the other areas, academics, we have
Mhm.
to pull back our hovering wings and say, okay, you're the young adult here. You've got to make the decisions that you need to make in order
Mhm.
to be successful.
Well, one of the things, and you said their mental well-being. One of the things I know my daughter was diagnosed with when her freshman year of school was clinical depression, and that was a challenge. We did find a counseling place that was close by, but it was very concerning because we didn't we could not be there and help her through that. Yes, we could make phone calls and everything like that. But when you really see your child struggling with depression,
Mhm.
which is almost debilitating, so for
Mhm.
her it was, she didn't want to get up. And that's hard for a parent to see
It is.
at any stage of life, let alone when they just leave the nest.
Mhm.
Um, and
Mhm.
I don't know if you have any advice for someone a parent who's seeing their child really going through an emotional downturn when they are so far away that they can't intervene.
Well, I think it's really important that students realize, our children realize, that it's not a weakness to seek help.
Mhm.
It's being proactive and taking care of yourself. And that's not just our mental emotional health. Even if they're struggling academically, they should seek a tutor, seek a coaching, a study coach, or something like that. But when it comes to their emotional and mental health, yes, it's a serious problem among college
Mhm.
students. And part of it is because everything is different. Their
Yeah.
support group is far away. And that's the reason I recommended if you can tell the difference when you talk to them on the phone, or they stop contacting you, or they are just totally withdrawn. And you mentioned that your daughter didn't want to get up.
Mhm.
I've worked with students that had those issues. Yes, they need help. And that would be a time when if you couldn't get to wherever they were, if they're too far away, that would be a time when you would call someone on campus and say,
Yeah.
I'm concerned about my child. I, I want a counselor or a psychologist, someone to check in with them. And
Yeah.
they would be open to that. The
Yeah.
administrators and the faculty and staff, they're concerned about
Yeah.
their students. And so they'd be open to it. So that's when you should hover.
Yeah.
You know,
Linda?
one of the things that I did for my child, the first off, I didn't think he was quite ready to leave home yet, and I had him go to community college
Mhm.
for a
Yeah.
couple of semesters, and then that really helped him prepare how to get to class, how to do his work without me hovering over him, but yet I was still there to tap him. Okay. But then when we did, we sent him in state, so he
Mhm.
was still nearby, and we kept that phone line open.
Mhm.
We
Wow.
didn't hover
Yeah.
over him, but we talked to him.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he would tell us when he was struggling, and he did have some times when he ended up talking to a counselor because it's
Mhm.
hard as a
Yeah.
young person to not have the support that you had before and have all of these demands, academic
Mhm.
demands, and trying
Yeah.
to figure out the social life, trying to figure out, how to meet girls, and all of that. It's very hard.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
we would be there for him. We would drive up and have dinner with him and talk to him. But what would you say, Catherine, about how? I mean, not everybody has the same situation where their son is in state or child is in state. How can we keep those lines of communication open?
Well, when you were offering me some advice on the article that I wrote, you added some things that were very, very helpful. I had suggested, stay in contact, text, email, phone, stay in contact so that you can tell. You can tell when your child's upset, unless they hide it really, really well. And usually you can eventually. But then send messages, send a care package. And even if it's a struggle for them to come and visit, I know if they're all the way across the country, then of course the travel costs are going to be
It
a
was,
factor. But even FaceTime, something where
Oh,
you
yeah.
can let them know that you care. And that's the most important thing. Let them know that you care. You're praying for them. Let them know you're praying for them. And send them some Bible verses that you know that they'll bring comfort and that sort of thing. But I keep mentioning that if you know it's serious, then go to them or contact somebody to help them or let them
Yeah.
come home for a weekend or
Yeah.
something just to check in. But just keep that constant and prayer.
Yes.
That is so important
Yeah.
to ask for our Father's loving care and guidance and let them know. Sometimes they feel so alone and they don't want anybody to know that they're struggling. I mean, they
Yeah.
want to succeed on their own. They don't want to have to
Right.
call somebody or go, but just to let them know that it's okay.
Yeah.
That's what their people are there for. That's what the counselors and the academic coaches are there for. And it's just up to us to recognize when
Yeah.
they might need that.
One of the things I thought of when we were when my daughter was in Chicago, I love FaceTime, and she would eat her dinner and we would eat our dinner, and she would be on FaceTime, and we'd just be kind of around the table, and even though we're not in the same vicinity, that was like having that, that connection, that family. Like, we scheduled our dinners and we had that time. So there was something even about the family dinner over the internet, over the FaceTime, that really made a difference and really made us feel connected. And I know, Linda, the one thing that I really admire about you and your son is, since those lines of communication were so open, he is a person who calls his mom, and he's always been that. And I think it's because you've established that as a part of everyday life, that you're open and you're available to him.
I do want to comment on that, because if you don't have a good relationship with your child before you send them off, you can't really expect them to call you when they're in crises or in trouble. And family dinners, just what you just said, having meals together, even if it's once a week over a hamburger,
Right.
having that establishment where you are actually in communication with your child while they are still at home will make it easier for them to talk to you when they are so far away. What do you think, Katherine?
I agree 100%. And also, how we talk to them makes a difference. They've got to feel comfortable in sharing. And you're right, that's a step that we build from the time they're born all the way through. But we've got to be good listeners, and we should be careful not to say, well, when I was your age, this is the way we did it, and you need to do it that way too. Or that you should do this. We don't want to be controlling. We want to be encouraging. And so we need to listen. And then when they ask, and if we've got that close relationship, then they're going to ask us, well, what do you think I should do, Mom? And they will. And then we still have to be careful. You need to do this way. We still need, how about if you tried da 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 da?
I think the thing that made all the difference, because I've always been a person who prays. I mean, I always prayed for my children when they were little. And like, if we would be in the car and my son would tell me something difficult, I'd say, let's pray about it right now. So we had an establishment of prayer. So when things got tough, he would call me and say, I need prayer.
Yeah.
Because that was part of the way we communicated anyway. And I want you to know that prayer made all the difference. And that prayer and him agreeing with me in prayer, that got him through some very difficult and dark days in his college years. And now he's, really thriving. He's going to get married this summer.
Wonderful.
Just I'm so proud of him. And we still pray together.
Yeah, and now he lives close to you. I'm
Yeah.
sure that is exciting, because when you build a relationship like that, your kids don't want to move away from it. Even though my daughter's moving back to England, my 25-year-old, it is kind of terrifying, and to be that far away. But we'll probably still be having the family dinners over Facebook because 6 hours in time.
You
Like,
can make it work.
get at 6 o'clock at night till at midnight. Come up and we're gonna eat. But one of the things I want to tell parents not to do is, please don't, if your kid packs up and goes to college, do not move out the room immediately and then turn it into a
Oh,
gym.
I can't wait. I hear people say that all the time. This is my craft room.
I mean, you can move a little craft table in there, okay?
uh-huh.
But don't. I remember, oh my goodness, I remember my moving out into the dorm, and all of a sudden, my parents had the free reign. We're gonna clear this room out, and like, of course, we had 5 kids in a 3-bedroom house. Maybe I shouldn't have expected that much, but I was like, okay, so you're kicking me out of my house. You're not letting me, because that says something to
What about
a child.
Christmas and spring break and summer?
I don't know where I was. Air mattress on the floor. I guess that's where I graduated to. Yeah, keep an open space for your child.
Yes.
Also, keep an open space to possibly win Amber's book.
Yes,
Because we're going to be doing the
please.
drawing in about 10 minutes. Show them the
10
book
minutes.
again, Amber. See what you could win.
Yes. Please, please. Oh, we have Virginia Grounds and Stacy Sanchez and Cindy Saab. And well, and if anybody else is out there, we need to know.
Yeah,
We need
say
to know.
hello, hello.
Yes, because I want to give away 2 copies of the book if I can.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't give any to just those lovely ladies right there, because I know they're amazing.
Well,
They're
one will
buddies.
certainly feel left out today. That's for sure. I've read the book. I've seen the book. It is so sweet and dear about flowers pushing their way to the light. I mean, I will just say that much about what you're in for. It's so inspirational and so beautifully designed. Amber.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I love, since I've been in it, Advanced Writers and Speakers Association, I have expanded my gifts more than I have ever knew that God would expand them, just because I get into this iron sharpens iron community. And I know, Katherine, you're a member of AWSA, and of course, Linda is the founding. The founding.
Well, they used to call me the founding flounder. But they don't call me that anymore.
Yeah.
This is our 25th year.
25th.
This year, 25 and 25.
Wow. Wow. Well, tell me, I know this is just a little bit off point of graduation, but Katherine, how did you get involved in the Advanced Writers and Speakers Association?
I had heard about it, but I hadn't joined. And last year I said, I think I want to do this.
Yes.
And so then I sent my book back
Ooh.
to run those people that
Show
it's
us all
time.
about your book.
Yes.
We haven't spent time with that, but let's look
Yeah.
at it.
Let's see the book.
This is Stay the Course, and that's what we're talking about. It's a devotional handbook to survive and thrive in your first year of college and beyond. And so we've talked about it today, but I just happened to see the advertisement or the announcement last year when it was time to send in your books to be judged for the Golden Scrolls Award. And so I sent mine in, or I joined, and then I sent it in.
Yes.
It's been such a blessing. I was able to go last year to Fort Wayne because it did
win big last year, didn't you?
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Tell them
so
more.
I went to Fort Wayne, and it was just a wonderful experience meeting all those awesome people in the classes. And it's just a great organization. And so I'm looking forward to many years of of participating.
I remember sitting with you over the table at the Blue Ridge Christian Writers, Blue Ridge Mountain Christian Writers Conference.
And that's coming up. Are you going?
Yeah.
Are you going?
I'm not going this year.
Oh,
I think I'm going to be on faculty again next year.
Okay.
That's the plan. We'll see.
Very good. Well, that one's close enough for me to drive too. So I go back every year because you have to go all the way across the country. So
makes it
it's not
tough.
so convenient for you.
Well, Joni's got on the hi Joni. Anybody else out there in Facebook land? We want to be able to, if there's a few more people, I'll give away 2 books. So
let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. What if we get 2 more people to say hi?
2 more, please.
2 more. Come on, we'll give away 2 books if 2 more people say hi. Do this for everyone. Do this for the group in the room. We know that you're lurking. And that you're lurking. Ways of knowing that. So we know you're there. So just go ahead and say hello.
Yes. So I'm assuming, Katherine, that this book is a great book that probably kids should be reading now. Maybe my kids should be reading now.
Kids or parents?
Kids or parents? Who should be reading this book?
It's good for kids and parents because it helps parents understand what their student's going to be going through when they get there. But good for the student because it's divided thematically. So if they, for example, they bomb a test and they don't know how to talk to their instructor about how to maybe make up some work or do something to help, or get some studying advice to do better on the next test. And it's got some helpful hints in there for that type of thing. And what to do if you get a roommate that you can't
deal with,
be comfortable with.
We went through that too.
Yes.
And what to do even if an instructor is treating you unfairly, how to go up the chain of command to talk to the department chair and the dean and whoever else to get help if you're being treated unfairly. Because
it doesn't sound like it sounds like just some of the practical things you need to know how to navigate just everyday life as a college student. So this sounds like a very, very helpful resource all around for anybody who's graduating to this year or who's graduating next year. This sounds like an amazing resource. So stay the course. Katherine, where can people get in contact with you, learn more about where your book is?
I have a website, katherinepasour.com. And of course, the book is available at all major booksellers.
That's
online or in person. I'll have some at Blue Ridge. If anybody's going to Blue Ridge and can get it at a little less of a price. But it's designed just to be a guide for students and families to navigate that first year. It just and it's got some tough love in it too. It's not just saying whoopee, you can do it. It's all right. Buckle down and do what you need to do.
I have an advice for those who are wanting, those parents in the college communities who are wanting to reach out. Serve food. That's
Love it.
Food is the quickest way to reach to a college student's heart.
Absolutely. Those little care packages. Yes.
If you're close enough like we are or were, you should take them out to dinner from time to time. Too.
Yes. Invite them home to some home cooked meals instead of the cafeteria food. I love that. We do have families in our church even do that after Sunday morning. They'll group a bunch of college students to say, come over to the house and we'll have dinner for you. And that's really kind of cool because you not only are you feeding the students. I don't know, we only got 2 meals on Sunday, so that was important to have that third free meal because I'd end up eating ramen.
We need one more person to unlock that last second book we're going to be giving away. We got Dawn in. Yay,
Hi,
Dawn. I have to tell you, I'm going to jump in here. I was very fortunate. I lived 2 miles away from my college. when I grew up. And what I would do is I was the president of the Baptist Student Union. And what I would do is periodically I would throw a big party that my mom and dad would host, and we bring all the kids to my house and just feed them and love on them. And boy,
Oh,
that
that's
is such a great thing.
amazing. That is
great.
amazing. That's awesome.
So if you
Uh,
can, I mean, you might make an incentive, you're going to have pizza, you're going to have hamburgers if you live close enough.
Yeah.
And that way you can meet some of your child's friends
Mhm.
and be able to input positively into them.
Yeah. And hamburgers, hot dogs, that anything that is they love, anything like that, any spaghetti and meatball, anything that is it doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be fancy. Kids are easily impressed by, actually real cooked food. And they're not necessarily picky. So there is a great way to help the students get what they need to get and develop that nurturing kind of.
And you know what? One of my friends used to invite international students into her home from all over the world for Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner. So there are things that you can do, even if your own child isn't close enough. You can get involved with ministries to reach out and help these hurting young people that are wandering around the college campuses feeling very lost and alone.
Yeah.
Those great ideas.
So
And
good.
as you said, Amber, if you feed them, they will come.
They will come. Rebecca, she says, if you live somewhere near a beach but away from the school, you might offer to host friends over for spring break. I'm sure that would be lovely. People would love to, that would be really
That's
lovely.
a great idea, Rebecca. We're coming over to your house for spring break. And speaking of Rebecca, okay, we've got 5 people now. If we count Rebecca, we have 6 people. What do you think, Amber?
I think we can give away 2.
Okay,
Rebecca, you're going to have to put yourself on the list.
Put your name in the drawing, Rebecca. And last call. You only have seconds left to participate. And while we wait out those seconds, Katherine, is there anything more you want to say to parents and grandparents who are worried about a young person away at college?
Just like to say, never give up. There are times when all of us, no matter who we are, get overwhelmed with the task and responsibilities that we have. And we just want to throw up our hands and say, I just can't do it. But I would encourage you, stay close to Christ on your walk. Our Father God will guide us along the way. And we have family and friends and mentors that love us and are rooting for us. So never give up.
Beautiful.
So good. So good.
Oh, look
Joni,
at that.
Yeah, my daughter brought international students home with her every time she came home from college because we live close to an airport, and we would drop them off for their flight home. That's so good, so good.
Yeah, be a light of love as much as you can to these college kids. That's beautiful.
Oh, another thing, mom taxis. If you live near a college, people need taxis. They still need the mom taxis. If you're, even once a week, if you want to load up some college students and take them to the grocery store. A lot of the first year students, they don't let them have cars. So that's another way. That's another ministry you can extend if you live close to a college campus.
Oh,
That's a great idea. Actually, when I was in college, I lived with an older couple. And I took them to the grocery store because they didn't have a car. So there's so many opportunities for college students to volunteer in their neighborhood, and so many classes require community service. Just so many ways, and the older people just love it. Gave my students an assignment one time to work in a senior citizens center for a semester, a couple hours a week, and the residents loved it. They just loved it when those students would visit them. So, get involved. Get involved on campus. Get involved in the community, and there's so many needs. It's a great thing for college students to do for the community.
Oh, goodness. So many ideas, so many things to think about from this podcast. I hope you guys even pass it on because I'm very certain there's some college students that need to get this book. There's some parents that need to get this book. And we also want you to get the new Leading Hearts magazine at leadinghearts.com, which has the article from Katherine in that, as well as talking about the book. And it has so many other amazing things in it. And we'll give this to you for free. At leadinghearts.com, and you sign up, and you also get a chocolate spa issue as a bonus. This is a great way to get something free, and also you can give it and share it with your friends. So we'd encourage you to go to leadinghearts.com and get yourself that free subscription and get this magazine.
Send it to all your family members and put a link to it. If you've got a newsletter going to women or women at your church or women readers, put a link in it. Let people know about it. Let's grow this because it is an award-winning, with our award-winning editor right here in the room with us, Miss Amber, and our wonderful writers. And there's a reason why we have beat some of the top names in Christian magazine publishing for first place in years past. Even though we didn't have $1 million budget, we just had Jesus and girl power.
Yes,
Woo!
we did. Yes, we did. Oh, thank you, Dawn. She said, I'll add it to my email this week.
Oh, good.
That's
Yay.
awesome.
Thank
We
you.
love it. Thank you, Dawn. So do we have Miss Rebecca? Do we have the wheel of Vanna White
Calling Miss Vanna Rebecca.
Vanna.
Hey.
Hello.
She's going to spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel.
I'm working on getting it.
She's pulling it up now. So, Katherine, we've just loved having you here with us.
Yes.
Thank
you
you
so much.
It's been awesome to be here with you. Thank you.
Oh, Joni. Yay.
Hey, Joni. We have a winner.
Oh, and she says she has a devotional. Will come out on tomorrow on Arise Daily. Actually, I know that, Joni.
Oh, wow.
Believe it or not,
Wonderful.
I do know that.
Yes.
Dawn. Woohoo.
Yay, winners.
Yay.
You are winners.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys. I'm look forward to sending that out to you, Joni and Dawn. It's been a great time. Great time talking to you, Katherine. I appreciate all your insight. So timely for this time of the year. And getting ready. Friday's the last day of school for us. I know a lot of college students are out, but Friday is the last day of school for our Springfield public schools. So we're getting ready to release the jungle.
Jungle is coming.
Release the beast.
The college students leave, and all the kids who are driving get on the roads.
Yep. Yes. Well, and before we go, I know that there are a lot of people right now who are in tornado zones, and
right here.
Prayer that we're going to pray about that right now is we can command tornadoes to go up and to stay up. There was one going across Colorado, and I prayed 3 times for it to go up, and 3 times it went up, and it saved lives. So let's all just agree in the name of Jesus that those rolling clouds of wind will stay up and float over communities, homes, and towns, and people will be safe. And we pray that together, and the power and authority of the name of Jesus. So there.
Yes.
And amen.
So thankful. So thankful. We've had enough in Missouri, and I know that it's already been a hard spring. So we are saying prayers here, and we know that is the most effective weather changer is prayer, because God cares. God cares. So excited. Thank you guys for being with us.
Thank you,
Linda. Do you have any wrap up words that you want to give?
Well, just, stay in communication with your young folks and stay in communication with the Lord and invite your young people to join you in that communication. Pray for them on the phone, pray for them when you're not with them, and watch what God can do with their lives.
That's amazing.
Amen.
Wow. Well,
Well, we
thanks,
hate to
guys.
leave, but it
Yes.
is time.
We could stay here and just talk all day, couldn't we?
Good. Thank you,
Well,
Dawn, for your
thank
prayers
you.
too. Yes.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, everybody. We look forward to talking to you next time. See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.